Today I'm sharing 60 lessons I learned in 60 years. I thought this would be fun since I just turned 60. I tried really hard to think of some really unique lessons I've learned over the 60 years. I mean, I'm sure just like with any of you, we have lived a life. So there's got to be some good ones, something different than the usual that we always hear about. For myself, I moved to another country when I was a child. I had to learn to speak another language. I had to be in school as the immigrant kid that had different ways of doing things, ate different foods, spoke another language. So it was a little bit tough. And then I became a young teenage mother at 18. I was a high school dropout and had to go back to school to get my high school diploma, then go to college and various jobs to support my son, and then eventually led to a 30-plus year career as a nurse that I'm still doing. So I figured there had to be some good lessons in there that I can share with you. I've tried to put these lessons into categories that I will list in chapters below, so if you want to jump around, if something is more of an interest to you, then go ahead. So let's get started. I have my notes here because there's no way I can remember all 60. And hopefully there's something unique in there that you may not have heard. I think there should be. Number one, you're stronger than you think. And this I really relate back to when I was a kid and having to move to another country. And not only did I become a young mother, but my whole immediate family, my sisters, my mom and dad, all moved back to Finland when I was pregnant. Mind you, I never let them know I was pregnant, so they didn't have an idea. But I was adamant that I was staying in Canada, and I did. And some people would say that, how do you survive as a teenager on your own? It was hard, but that's what I mean. We are so much stronger than we think we are. Number two is trust in yourself. And I find that when you are younger, at least I had a lot more faith in myself. And then because of life's hardships, that does tend to dim, but I made it a priority to try to get back some of that trust in myself. Over time, with mistakes that we do and things like that, we start to lose that trust, and then it causes a lot more issues down the road. Number three, you can't control everything, only yourself. That's a given. Number four, you cannot make someone change, no matter how you try. This can be in relationships, it can be with your children. It's obvious. We can only do what we can do, but it has to be with ourselves. Everybody else makes their own decisions. 5, it's okay to realize you made a mistake and quit doing something. Sometimes you just feel like, I can't quit. It's embarrassing. I can't quit. I invested too much money. I invested too much time into this. But yes, you can. I've done this personally. And it was hard, but boy, when I did, it just was such a relief. It could be as simple as quitting reading a book you're not really enjoying, or something really where you've invested money into a course like me, and I found out it was not for me. And when I dropped it, it was such a relief. Thank goodness I did that. So definitely it's okay to make mistakes and quit doing something. Self-awareness and self-care. Number 6, self-care isn't just about bathing and lotions. It's about forgiving yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, it's an avenue for all kinds of other problems to start rising in your body. Number 7, be kind to yourself. It's as important as being kind to others. For goodness sakes, we would never treat somebody else sometimes how we treat ourselves. 8, it's never too late to start over. Even if you are, no matter what age, it doesn't really matter. You can do anything. There's so many examples out in the world of people doing things at all ages. I've done things when I was really young, and I hope that I will continue that as I get older, to do really exciting and different things all the time. Number 9, learn to let go. This applies to so many things. Everything from things that aren't going well, things that are ruminating thoughts that you're having about something you've said, or things that have happened. It could be anything from small things to big things, but you have to let go. 10, don't be afraid to change. Be open and never say never. That happened with me. I said I was never going to work back in emergency. I was so done, so burnt out, and I left to do something else. I did some medical sales for a while. But what did I do? I returned to emergency. I just needed that break, and I actually loved that job so much, but I was burnt out. So never say never. And I knew when I said that to my friend, I will never go back there. I knew that I should have probably not have said that. 7, look after your health as best as you can, because health is an investment, not an expense. This is very true. 12, your health is important, and the best thing you can do for yourself can sometimes be so simple and free and are often overlooked. You don't have to do anything expensive to look after your health. Some of the most healthy things are free for everybody. 13, sleep is one of the best things you can do for yourself, and that is definitely free. There's so many studies out now how lack of sleep or interrupted sleep is detrimental to our health and our longevity. Give it the importance that it deserves, seriously. 14, let yourself enjoy your age and go with it. Instead of fighting it, embrace it and enjoy every stage. Because a lot of us are either wishing we were older when we were young, and then as we get older, I wish I was younger. So we have to let all that go and just enjoy the stage and age we're at. Buy yourself flowers, and sometimes just to enjoy them. I do this once in a while, but I usually do it after I've cleaned the house and I'm gone grocery shopping. I pick up a little bunch of cheap flowers because it just looks pretty and it makes me feel good. So do that for yourself, or whatever the little thing is that really gives you a little perk. This is the category relationships and empathy. Forgiving others is more than about you than the other person, because seriously, it's all about that forgiveness. Forgiving others, it's more about letting yourself move forward than about the other person. 17, everyone has a story, show empathy. I learned this in a few different ways. I learned it because of my mom. My mom was severely hard of hearing to the point that her speech was affected, but I didn't know that growing up. She sounded like Mom. I had no idea. Me and my sister would love to, whisper. We didn't need a secret language. We could just talk quieter and she'd never hear what we were saying. So anyways, as she got older and then she had some dementia and she got a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? She was unique. That's not the exact word that I'm thinking of, but she was not treated well when people saw her. And there's always a difference when my sister or I or somebody was with her. All of a sudden she was treated with more respect and empathy. I also noticed this in emergency, how people treat some people that are a little bit are having a harder time in life, and you have no idea what is going on in that person's life. I have met celebrities in emergency that were down and out and having a really hard time, that people would be watching on TV in, really super popular shows. And I have seen them at their worst, and some people didn't realize who they were. But you don't know who that person is, and you don't know their story, what brought them to that place. So this is something that really I find important, and it's a huge lesson. 18, treat people with politeness. That is the same kind of venue. Treat people with the kind of respect that you would give somebody in your family, and politeness. And I think we're losing that, especially with our younger generations. 19, people will come and go out of your life, and that's okay. 20, make an effort to see friends. Don't let time slip without nurturing relationships. That can be as simple as a phone call or a text. I have friends from when I was in elementary school and grade 8 that I don't talk to hardly. We have our own lives and things, but if I see her, it's like she's a family. Yeah, it's like you can pick up because you knew each other at a time in your lives, and all of a sudden when you see each other after decades, It's okay. Respect yourself so others can respect you. That's kind of a given too. If you don't have any respect for yourself and you treat yourself like crap, then you're giving the permission for others to treat you the same way. Number 23, hurt eventually lessens but never fully goes away. It becomes easier to bear with time. As we get older, we do have a lot more losses. I've lost both my parents, I've lost my aunts, I've lost my grandparents. The pain never goes away. I've lost my sister-in-law, my father-in-law. It's not ever going to go away, but it does lessen. 24, forgive so that you can heal. And I mentioned that earlier, and it's true. We if you've ever heard of any of Gabor Mate's talks or read his books, it talks about forgiving so you can heal because your body holds the score. Next category is mindset and perspective. 25, living in the past creates regrets. Living in the future creates anxiety. Living in the now is a gift. And I had this comment left from Music is My Love 888. They left this comment on my last video, and thank you for the beautiful reminder, because this is how we have to live. And this is so true. In the past is just regrets that you may have. Future is just anxiety and worry. And the now is the gift. 26, what you think about, you bring about. I think I understood this more when I was young, but as with time and troubles and things that happen to us, we kind of forget about it. But when I was young, I would always think that I'm going to do that. I had no idea how I was going to get to the college because I lived so far away and there was no transit. It was a very specific kind of a bus that I had to get on that took an hour and a half or whatever it was. But I just knew. I knew I was going to do this, and I made things happen. You sometimes lose that with age and just time and life struggles. So we have to try to get that back. 27, be open to change. Never say never. Open your mind to possibilities and new directions. I don't know if I mentioned that already. It sounds like I did. But no, be open to change. That is different. Don't be so stuck in a rut that you never think that something else might be better, or you've got it in your head that, no, I don't like that. I'm not going to like that. I've done that many times, and I've tried things that I have said absolutely no to and then think, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? So be open to change. Don't put off getting in contact with somebody. And I mentioned that already, but it doesn't have to be, old friends and, acquaintances. This could be somebody new. If you're concerned or want to just boost somebody else's mood, a little text or a call in the morning can mean the world of difference to somebody. And that's a lesson I've learned only recently, and I started implementing. Don't live in the past. This is important because if you are living in the past because something was scientifically proven or stated that this is good 10 years ago, things may change. I have made many changes and then been kind of stuck in those ways for a long, long time, until I open myself up and listen to the new evidence and realize, well, that was good then, but now there's new information out and things aren't quite like that anymore. So be open to change. Don't live in the past. Move along with the new evidence that comes out. You are not your mistakes. The key is learning from them and moving forward. Make the most of the present moment. Life is now, not in the past or the future. And that's kind of just reinstating what I said earlier. The present moment is key. And I mentioned in my previous video that book from The Power of Now. And even though I couldn't remember most of the book, there's just the general theme of the book was the present is the most important thing. And I am going to reread that book by Eckhart Tolle. Is that his name? Anyway, I'm going to reread that book because obviously it's a good book if I think about it so many years later. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things, but know also when something isn't for you, and it's okay to just leave it behind. But it's fun to experiment. Don't be pressured into doing something that you feel isn't right for you. We're old enough to say no and maybe try something and then say, forget it. No, that's not for me. It's not going to work for me. Growth and mindset and action. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. And that's a given. And we all have to, when we're over 50, to stop, we have to stop procrastinating. We just have to get on with it. Number 35, most regrets come from not taking action, not from taking action. You don't want to be at the end of your life and wished you'd tried something. 36, don't wait for the perfect moment. Those moments don't usually exist. And that's all about procrastination. If you're waiting for the perfect time, just the right moment, it'll never happen. Just get on with it. Embrace imperfections. Things don't have to be perfect. Usually it's just you who are seeing all the imperfections. Nobody else does. Have the childlike innocence to feel all things are possible. And this goes back to when I was young, I would think that there's no way. I have made a decision. I am going back to school. I'm getting my high school diploma. I am going to go to school to become a nurse. I didn't know how. I had no money, no transportation, but I knew I was going to do it, and I believed in myself. We need to get some of that childlike innocence back and that belief in ourselves. Learn to listen. Listening is so powerful because when you listen, you're not only hearing the words, but a lot of times you're getting the true meaning behind those words. Hold your tongue. Think about things before you say them, especially in anger or in fear. Practical life and health section. Don't bury your head in the sand about your finances. Well, this is something I did and it didn't work out well. It's better to look straight on, make plans, and actually the fear subsides and you become more confident. Learn to notice your gut instinct. How does it signal you? Listen to it. It's usually right. I get this weird feeling. It's not always in my stomach, but something makes me think, I just all of a sudden realized something was not right. And I see it, I hear it, and then I just usually just go on and as if it didn't happen. And later on, when something proves me right, I think about like, now I know what that moment was about. It's almost like a gift, or you have to learn how to feel and hear your gut and your intuition. Maybe it's a practice. You just need to practice. And when you notice these things, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but maybe question it, take time, write it down, and think about it more instead of letting it go. Because later on down the road, you usually go back to that moment and think, oh my gosh, that's why that feeling came over me. Look after your teeth. It's not just about aesthetics. That is actually a huge part of your overall health. So it's important to look after your teeth and your gums. Always get your physical checkups. Medical health people are usually the worst. They don't want to go through the routine checkups, but always schedule in your routine checkups because it can nip things that are going wrong in the bud really quickly, and things can be diverted and be a lot less of an issue if you let it go too long. Look after your hearing because of my mom being very hard of hearing, and the new evidence and science says that people with hearing deficits that don't correct them with hearing aids have a higher chance of getting dementia. It's because you start losing contact with people. You can't stay in communication. You are lost in conversations, and you start having a feeling of isolation, and all of those kinds of things increase your risk of dementia. Wear sunscreen. This is about the section organizing your life. 47, make your home comfortable as soon as you possibly can. Otherwise, things never feel right, and it can actually cause stress without realizing it. I wasn't good at this, but when I watched my daughter and kids move out and how they make their house a home right away, they're way better at it than I am. And I'm so proud of them for doing that. Because I don't know, I didn't learn how to do that, and then it does. You don't feel comfortable in your own home, and if you don't feel comfortable in your own home, it's stressful. Write things down instead of thinking you'll remember them. Organize your photos on a regular basis instead of waiting decades and then having a big pile to sort through. That's what I have learned the hard way. And 50, time is your most precious commodity. Don't waste it scrolling social media, but give yourself a time that allows that, kind of scrolling. But don't waste all your time on things that are just absolute nothing projects. Gratitude and perspective. Respect yourself so others can respect you. Treat others how you want to be treated. Try to be grateful for something every day. And there's now evidence that it's just all about how you feel mentally and how you think is good for your physical being, but it also helps how you present yourself and how things turn out for you. Hurt eventually lessens, but never really goes away. And that can be hurt from people hurting you, doing something that against you, you losing their trust, things like that. They do eventually lessen, but never completely go away. But it's better to forgive so that you can move on and be healthier. It's okay to try different forms of mindfulness. So all this stuff about journaling and meditation and gratitude practice and all these things may not work for you. It's okay to try different things. Just because they're supposed to be good for you doesn't mean it's right for you. And sometimes when you do something like journaling, maybe it's good for a moment in time, but down the road, you don't need that anymore. So it's okay to try different things, and don't feel guilty if you're not doing these things, because everybody out there says that journaling is great for you. Doing all that stuff is so good for you. Don't worry about that. Small things matter. Take the time for them, whether it's a moment to sit and read or just savoring a quiet morning. Those things are super important. And enjoy this very moment. Focus on the now, the present, and try to stay mindful of whatever's happening right in front of you. And that goes right back to that book that I was mentioning that I have to reread. Life is an adventure and an exploration. Put something on your calendar to look forward to. I heard this actually just today, and it was a reminder that sometimes we get bored with life. So whether it's just an outing to meet a friend, just a coffee date for yourself, or you're going on a vacation, or you're going to try a different shop, put something on the calendar for the future, whether it's in a week, a month or two, to look forward to. It really makes you have more joy for doing everyday things and working towards a goal. Find yourself a mentor. It's so easy right now to get caught up in listening and reading to so many self-help books and doing all this and that. And in reality, it's just a bombardment, and we are so confused. What I found helpful, and this is a lesson that I've learned, is pick a few people in different areas that you trust, that they are providing the best information that's available to them, and just follow their lead. For whether it's with skincare, makeup, I have some people that I follow instead of everybody. Whether it's health advice, I listen to certain people, because otherwise we're bombarded with so much information, and I don't have time to listen to everybody and everybody's viewpoint. So pick a mentor in a specific area or in a few areas, and just go with the advice they provide until they no longer serve you, and then you look for somebody else. Number 60, do things you find meaningful, that give you purpose and joy, and in turn make life an adventure. And that can be whatever. For me, it happens to be researching health topics. For me, it's also creating videos. I enjoy cooking when it's not just cooking because we have to eat, but I enjoy experimenting with different foods. There's a lot of things I enjoy doing, and not everybody does, but those are the things that make me feel like getting up in the morning, because I've planned for myself something to do. So find what's meaningful for you and gives you purpose, and put those into your schedule and do that, whether anybody else in your family is interested in or not, because it's what gives you purpose and meaning in life. Now, if you've enjoyed all these 60 and you stayed through to the end, I would love it if you hit the like button, because it helps the channel grow. And also, if you have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you've got life lessons that you want to share, I would love to hear some in the comments. This is just what I could come up with. I was trying to think. 60 is quite a few without being overly repetitive. I think we'd all love to hear any lessons that you have. So leave them in the comments. And if you want me to expand on any of these topics, let me know in the comments also. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.